feeling rejected, confused, or wondering what's happened to the bond that you once had with your child? Today, I want to dive into what's really going on with this generation and how you can bridge the gap with them before it's too late. So when you ask yourself, what's really going on? Why do our kids not see parents as valuable? And then I want to share with you what you as a mom can do about it. The first is there's a shift towards what you could call individualism, right? Culture-wise. And so these younger generations, the Millennials, Gen Zs, they've grown up in more of a culture that values personal growth, autonomy, and self-expression. Honestly, over collective family loyalty or values. Our generations, where family bonds were typically seen as important, that was just something that we did, right? Younger people prioritize mental health, personal boundaries, and independence. Those are the topics that a lot of you tell me when I speak with you or I'm coaching with you. You tell me that these are the things that your kids are telling you, like, hey, I need to preserve my mental health. I need to take care of my boundaries. I need my independence. And not that any of those things are bad in and of itself, but what's happening is if we're shifting totally towards that with basically like, I don't need you, a family, I don't need my family, I've got this, I can take care of this myself. Parents, moms especially, I feel like are no longer seen as the central part of the family or the child's daily life. Their energy shifts more towards building their own identity and support systems elsewhere. I don't know that it's always about rejection, but it's also about the cultural values these generations were raised in, and they're kind of going against those, right? So what do you do about it? We need to recognize that our kids need some independence, and that isn't a rejection. We don't want to keep them young. We want to see them fly and see what they're made of. We can acknowledge this journey and allow them space to define their own identity and all these things that they're trying to do. But, a lot of us, even at other generations, were dealing with things and didn't mean we walked away from our family. The second one is, I think there's a change of definition, thanks to culture, regarding respect and authority. Okay. We viewed respect more as sometimes tied to authority, roles within the family, moms, dads, especially dads. But parents, we're the caregivers, we're providers. We pretty much gave our parents respect, maybe whether they completely deserved it or not. Not everyone comes from a good home, so I'm not pretending that everybody does. So keep that in mind. Younger generations often see respect as something that has to be completely earned through emotional safety, mutual understanding, and trust. And I don't disagree with that. Because if you put two people together, there can be a lot of volatile relationships. And if someone does not feel safe emotionally with someone, even a parent, that's a problem. So if your child is feeling judged, dismissed, or criticized, even unintentionally, this stuff can happen. And so what do you do about that? Well, I think that part of that is building mutual respect. And maybe for a lot of you, it's rebuilding mutual respect by listening without judgment. Talk about this all the time because it's so important. We need to show that you value their thoughts and their feelings, even when we disagree. And that's, we don't have to agree on everything. We don't have to approve, but we need to love our kids where they're at. Decisions can be changed. A lot of times our kids change their minds. So think about previous interactions that impacted their view of authority. We want to talk about more of a collaborative dynamic and relationship moving forward. For those of you that are ready to take the courageous next step towards taking care of yourself during this difficult time of estrangement, looking for a lifeline and committed to finding peace and support, I want to explore with you how I can help. And that is booking a discovery call with me. That is an opportunity to learn a little bit more about the journey. I want to hear about how it's affecting you. And then we can decide if this is a good fit for coaching. Spots are limited. So this is for people who are ready to invest in their own healing. If that is you, whenever you're ready, just hold on to that link. It's in the show notes or the description. You can schedule your call today. Number 3 is alternate support systems. I hear a lot about this where kids aren't getting the support at home. They go off and they find these other support systems, and they're not all good. Because of the internet, there's a lot of bad therapy out there. We all know that. Doesn't mean all therapists are bad. I don't believe that either. But social media, these younger generations, they have access to the world at their fingertips. They have access to a wide range of support systems outside the family. They can turn to friends, but other online communities, whoever they want to get emotional support from. And actually, the biggest one, I think, is validation. They're getting validation from other people, which can be causing a lot of this problem. So access to other people is obviously not a bad thing in and of itself, but it can make parents feel less essential, feeling replaced. And, for some kids, maybe that is the motive. And for many, I don't think it's the motive. I think it's more that kids need to see that these other sources could be neutral, but maybe they're also seeing that talking to these other communities, the people, the friends, they're less emotionally charged. The problem is they're leading them to seek guidance somewhere else that might not be beneficial for your child. We need to realize that we have to embrace the idea that they might be seeking help from others, but it doesn't diminish your value. My hope for your child is that it just adds to their toolkit. Just like you as a mom, we need tools to help navigate different things. And sometimes we need people outside of family, and that's totally fine. I just hope and pray that your child doesn't get swayed away different types of these organizations and support systems. Number 4 is unresolved pain or trauma. A lot of just adults carry unresolved pain from our upbringing. We all have it. It's whether or not have you worked on yours, because it can stem from a certain event. It can be unmet emotional needs from your upbringing. It could be some perceived shortcomings from either, you feel that you have, or maybe your parents had. We create a narrative that parents were not enough, or that their value is tied to past mistakes rather than present or future, what they're capable of. We are never the sum of our mistakes, right? We have so much more value than that. And so I want to encourage you that is something that many of your kids might be dealing with. And so we want to model the forgiveness. We want to model self-compassion when given the opportunity, right? By showing them that relationships can heal over time. There's just a lot of generational cycles and cultural focus on toxic family dynamics and generational trauma. These ideas can be valid, just like a lot of these other things. But at the end of the day, a lot of these therapists, a lot of these organizations, or things like that are really helping lead our children astray from where they came from. And many of these families are good-hearted, loving families. So this becomes a spiritual issue right there. I just want to encourage you that if you are a mom and you're navigating this, these are just 4 ways that some of these kids and the generational issues, the generational cycles, the things that our kids are dealing with. This is not an exhaustive list, but I hope this gives you an idea of what is really happening. And I want to just encourage you that it does not have to be this way. We need to pray for our kids. I pray for you. And I hope that you can find some solace in knowing that you're not alone in this. And I do fully believe that your kids are going to come back. They need to navigate some of these cycles that they have to break in their own lives. And so when we all do that, the family can come back together. I hope that helps. I will see you in the next episode. God bless.